This is one of the most perfect examples that money doesn't equal quality. I understand that this game's reputation is a lot better these days, but I don't know why. Resident Evil 6 is one of the most dull, uninspired, incompetent, and stupid games I've ever played. Resident Evil is mostly a cool franchise. They had hits, but also misses. Even though I don't like 7 and 8 and 3's remake and 0 and 6, this is still a franchise I like. With Resident Evil 1, 2, 4, 5 and both Revelations games being good to great. I'm not gonna tell you that I didn't want to make this video cause I fucking made it, but I want you to know that this game is the anti-fun equation, so playing it was fucking miserable. And fortunately for me, it has 4 campaigns, so let us begin. It is really quite an achievement when a game's controls feel good on neither keyboard and mouse or controller. No matter which you're playing, you'll feel like you're missing something. When playing on controller, you obviously lose accuracy, but when you play on a keyboard, scrolling the shitty fucking inventory system is incredibly confusing. Why do they hate Resident Evil 4's inventory? It was so fucking good and beloved, but they just stopped doing it. Matter of fact, why do they not have the merchant again? In Resident Evil 5 we at least had a shop for upgrading weapons, but here we have abilities that seem to barely make a difference. Slightly enhanced weapon damage, why don't you slightly get eaten by a zombie dinosaur? Oh my fucking god. The enemies are fine, they don't exactly need to be intelligent since most of them are zombies, but they do show their stupidity when they are regular goobers with guns. The game has a cover system that you will never ever fucking use. The controls never feel good. Throughout each campaign you will have plenty of moments where the game gets confused about what you want to do. It's a really good idea that the button for running, dodging and interacting is the same. Now that brings us nicely to the first campaign, Leon and Helena, and it's instantly retarded. Leon acts as if this is his first day on the job. I know the person was your friend, but you did this already. Also, this is Ashley's dad, and you don't seem to remember about her or care if she is alright. In a few minutes you will try to save another girl that's about Ashley's age, doesn't that jog your memory? For most of this segment we are restricted to just walking speed, and it takes so fucking long to find some bimbo named Liz and she just dies a bit after we save her. This isn't even a tutorial for anything. The only thing this kind of achieves is reinforcing that Leon cares about people, and even when they are in a hurry he will try to save them. A bit later on, Leon and Helena see live camera footage of some people calling for help. The people stand in place and wait for the zombies to eat them. Only after they get eaten does Leon want to save them, and Helena has to remind him that it's too late. What? They run away. After a few seconds, Leon crashes the car and both him and Helena blow up and they are fine. Also, some random other cars show up after the crash. Luckily, a manhole is here and it leads to some train tracks. After fighting our way out of here, we meet a group of survivors and we spend the rest of the chapter with them. They are a huge help to Leon and Helena. I can't wait to see what happens with them.
Hang on.
Well, shit, but we meet another group of survivors in a cathedral.
What
is that thing?
You're asking me?
Are you okay?
Guessing that's what unleashed this hell.
Why did you do this? In 2 of Leon's chapters, by the way. From the start, Helena wanted to show Leon why the president and that whole campus was infected, and she said that all of the evidence is in this cathedral. When we get into the secret lab under the cathedral, Leon sees a video of Ada's birth. That can't be Ada, she's not Asian. Funnily enough, Leon doesn't think to ask her what the fuck that was. Seriously now, why did she stop being Asian? Did no one think about this during production? Helena's sister Deborah was kidnapped by the National Security Advisor to be experimented on with the brand new fresh C-Virus. You know, usually in Resident Evil the people turn into disgusting eldritch creatures, but she just turns into a sexy lady with stingers. After Deborah dies, Helena says what happened and why she has left her post while protecting the president. So you didn't need to be all mysterious and not give any answers to Leon for this? So now's the time to get through ancient ruins under the lab that's under the cathedral. It's super interesting how these ancient ruins have fat people with regular shirts. There's also a quick time event boss fight with a mutated shark. Nothing really happens in chapter 3. It's 40 minutes of going through this stupid fucking place with barely any meaningful interactions between Leon and Helena. At the end of the chapter, a nuke was dropped on the infected area. Leon still isn't concerned about Ashley, and we're going to China cause that's where National Security Advisor Simmons is going. Hannigan fakes our deaths and we get on a plane somehow. Oh, what the fuck ever. The glumpy fat man zombie is also on the plane and this one can't die when you shoot it. You have to run to the end of the plane, to then open the cargo chute, to then run back through the plane, to then crash it. Cool. I love how retarded this is. They cut away from the crash to Leon and Helena meeting Sherry and Jake. We get a fight with someone who is going to be important in a different campaign, so I want to talk about something else here. You make this extremely long game with several campaigns with beloved characters from previous games. You get Leon and Helena, who never shows up again instead of Claire. You get Chris and Pierce, who is fine, but why not Sheva or Jill or Claire or Rebecca? It would make his story much more meaningful. Jake and Sherry. Jake, who is Albert Wesker's kid. If I had a nickel for every time a Capcom villain who hates and wants to destroy humanity had a kid, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice. Nonetheless, you have a lot of potential for strong characterization. So many people love these characters and you do absolutely nothing with the fact that they are all in the same game. They cross over sometimes, but it's only for a few moments and we're back to more shitty combat. Wow, what a segue! For some reason, they decided to make the guns feel incredibly weak. The enemies barely react to being shot. Most of the time while fighting bosses or regular enemies, I am questioning whether I am doing any damage. The fucking wrestling moves are a more certain way of killing enemies than shooting. We get a stamina bar for them that replenishes itself, or if you're a pro gamer, you can use a Tic Tac to replenish it immediately. The herbs are now Tic Tacs for some reason. I mean, this isn't really a point against the game, but it seems like you gave yourself more work than you needed. The herbs from the previous games worked. This is the same system but with extra steps. Also, this inventory is absolutely retarded. It's cool that you wanted to make it more smooth and fast, but it's shit. You can't use it on the run because the game constantly stops you when you equip a new weapon. You can't combine pickupable herbs with the herbs in your inventory again. Just fuck off. Where were we? Oh yeah, we fight some bootleg regenerators and do whatever this is. Then Leon and Helena meet Ada Wong's clone, yeah, that thing, and for some reason Chris and Pierce want to kill her. Oh my god, there's so much tension. We are saving that for their campaign. We meet up with Simmons and he gets infected. Okay. His motivation for destroying the world is so fucking good. We get more context later on in Ada's campaign, so I'm saving this bad boy for later. So a poisonous gas is released and everyone turns into a zombie unless you're the main character. Later on, we get the shot that everyone knows. Yes, I know we get it when you first turn on the game, but that prelude is fucking weird and pointless. Now, it's time. Zombie T-Rex, which is the best boss fight in the game? Yep. For the first time during this campaign, I felt like the devs knew what they were doing. It doesn't have any cheap one-shot kills, it's not an incredibly long bullet sponge. I would say that the arena is a bit too big cause it takes the T-Rex a while to get to you, but sure, you can have one. Now, the final fight with Simmons, where he turns into the same thing he was on the train. You just did a zombie T-Rex, you can go crazy. And thankfully they do. After his defeat, Leon and Helena go to the roof because Ada left them a chopper and a rocket launcher, but now Simmons turns into a giant fly. Where was this for the past 4 chapters? Leon's 4 chapters are fucking lame, stupid and miserable, and only the 5th one gets fun. Thanks for that. Simmons falls off the building and gets impaled, forming the Umbrella logo. Oh my fucking god. You see guys, it's symbolism. Cause you know, he was evil and Umbrella was evil. I am really reaching with this. Also, you gave up on animating the fluid and just pushed the model through another one. Leon has a long conversation with Helena while the building is actively blowing up. Roll credits. Helena is going to jail and Leon commits a hate crime.
Women.
Great. Resident Evil was always retarded, but at the very least it was fun and cool. Chris's campaign is actually the closest to it, but still not great. You mean to tell me that the guy who was willing to go on a dangerous mission alone just to save his friend is now a miserable drunk with amnesia? Oh my fucking god. Okay, even if you wanted to go in this direction for some retarded reason, why isn't Sheva or Jill or Claire or Rebecca here helping him? And then we would be playing with them and not fucking Pierce, who is a fine character, but you're wasting the massive amount of potential you have. Chris, at the end of the last game, literally said,
More and more I find myself wondering if it's all worth fighting for. For a future without fear? Yeah, it's worth it.
and now he's here being a miserable drunk with amnesia because he hit his head? Fuck off, what a stupid fucking decision. I really don't get why they did this. Also, the BSAA just allow him to lead a squad of people while being in this state the next fucking day. Chris and his squad need to save some hostages, and only then does Chris remember that his previous entire squad was killed by Ada Wong. Fuck amnesia. I hate it so much as a storytelling device. The fact that Chris remembers what happened is the only thing that drives the rest of the campaign. Was he really sent on this crazy mission without any information? We get a flashback of the specific mission that Chris forgot. They also met Sherry and Jake. Chris's team dies and he gets hit in the head and gets the amnesia. Now, even though I really hate the direction they took with Chris, this is the only campaign in which they actually do something. The relationship between Chris and Pierce is the highlight of this game. Pierce sees Chris as someone worth looking up to, a hero, but in the state that he is now, he keeps disappointing Pierce. This game invented a redemption arc that he didn't need, but it's good. Yeah. Pierce is the person to help bring Chris back up, and he really needs to step up to the challenge to redeem himself. Chris, Pierce, and what is left of their team go after Ada Wong. We get the Leon meetup scene again, and I've already said how much they waste these characters, so what the fuck ever. After a lengthy car chase, Chris and Pierce get on a ship where Ada's clone and her army of boogers tries to stop them. Wait, I think I'm forgetting something. Whatever, I'm sure it will come back to me. Ada's clone gets killed by whoever the fuck this is, and then...
Pre-launch preparations have already begun, and there's nothing we can do to stop it from here.
The missile's carrying a virus. If it hits, it's gonna be a hell
Man, can you imagine telling someone in 1996 that this is what Chris Redfield would be doing? Chris flies around in the VTOL and Pierce will try to stop the virus missiles. Pierce successfully disengages them, but they turn back on? Okay. Leon tells Chris where Sherry and Jake are imprisoned, and here we go to the finale. After freeing Jake and Sherry, Jake finds out that Chris killed his dad. Let me just remind you...
Hang on!
Chris, Sheva! Use those!
Ready, partner?
Locked and loaded.
Suck on this, Wesker.
Your time's up, you son of a bitch.
I would actually say that it's cool that they are treating the goofy shit seriously, cause that's how you get people to care about these fucking idiots. But to hammer the point again, why aren't all of these characters cooperating throughout the game? We could get some amazing drama. Chris and Pierce have the best relationship in the game, but we could have gotten a lot more with the people we already cared about. There is a big ass cocoon in this room, and if the thing inside it gets out of this facility, it will destroy the world or something like that. Chris and Pierce fight it, but Pierce gets injured and injects himself with the syringe he got from Ada's clone. I question why he gets a cool arm that he can shoot lightning with, but nevertheless it's fucking awesome. After defeating the monster, Pierce wants to stay, but Chris can't let that happen. They get to the escape pods and Pierce pushes Chris inside, sacrificing himself to save the world and his captain. That's a through line. You did it, and you did it really well.
Pierce! No, don't do this!
Open the door!
God damn it! Listen to me! We can still both get out of here! There's still time! What are you doing? No, Pierce! Don't! You can still make it out! God damn it, Pierce!
No! Pierce, open the goddamn door! That's an order! No.
You went in a really shitty direction, but you did it. That's really great for you. I wonder what direction they will go in the future.
No! I gotta say, I'm surprised you made it this far.
You think I killed Mia? That wasn't her.
Oh, well, thank you Resident Evil for making Chris a fucking idiot. Well, at least this retard died because of him, so that's a plus. You know what else is retarded? If there was a global bioterror threat and only one man in the world had the antibodies that work against the virus, who do you think we should send? Maybe a BSAA squad or some highly experienced agents. No, we should send a new, young, unexperienced agent alone. Yes, it's cool that Sherry grew up looking up to the people that saved her and became an agent, but fucking hell, the world is at stake. Also, what the hell is this scenario? Jake Mueller is Albert Wesker's son and a mercenary. Him and all of his mercenary buddies get a syringe with the virus that they all inject? Granted, Jake says that it's supposed to be some energy booster, but seriously, all of them injected it at the same time? Conveniently, Sherry comes in right after this happens? And a bit after this we meet poor man's nemesis. Keep him in mind, I'm not done with him yet. We meet Chris and his squad and we have to go through this amazing segment again. Chris's squad mate has to blow up 3 anti-aircraft guns, but the giant man keeps rudely interrupting him. So...
See if you can buy me some time! Just need a little more time!
You know, this was less funny when Chris did it. The world needs Jake's blood and he wants a lot of money for it, and as soon as Sherry's handlers agree to the terms, the shitty nemesis attacks the helicopter. Sure. Chapter 2 of Jake and Sherry's campaign is the worst mission in the entire game. You can't see shit most of the time, there's infinite enemies, the snowbike's controls are absolute ass, and it also ends with a snowbike escape, so thank you for that. What the fuck? They make an explicit point of showing that Sherry has a Wolverine healing factor. Some of you may now think that it explains why she was sent alone, but to that I say no. She only has that. She doesn't have any other special powers, she still needs a lot of help. The Nemesis guy is here and he has mutated bees that scan the area for intruders. Okay. I would love to know what the thought process behind this was, or if it even existed. Sherry and Jake get captured by Ada's clone for 6 months. They were missing for 6 months, but everyone just acts as if it was a day. Jake breaks out incredibly easily, so what the fuck? But hey, the game gets a point of praise here. Jake says that they experimented on him to enhance the C-Virus, and in the timeline after this moment, the mutations are insane, and later on Simmons mentions it when he gets infected. Our intrepid heroes escape the lab and the Chinese temple on top of it. I love how many underground labs there is in this franchise, it's so retarded and funny. After a horrifically terrible bike chase where the shooting is awful and the AI drives into cars, we get a horrifically terrible boss fight with a helicopter. But wait a minute, Chris and Pierce were fighting this helicopter. Well, yes, they were and are right now, and the helicopter just doesn't give a fuck about us. You cannot see it most of the time because of the other buildings, and it sometimes drops new enemies, so that's when you can shoot it? I don't understand this at all. This is so fucking confusing to me, why did they do this? We fight the bootleg nemesis again with Leon and Helena, and after a riveting boat segment we meet Simmons and we get captured again. I know Resident Evil had some retarded facilities, labs and mansions, but what the fuck is this place? I thought I have drilled enough holes in my brain to believe some of this shit, but this game challenges that. Resident Evil never had good stories, and anyone who tells you that they do is a fucking liar. The gameplay and the characters are what I'm here for, and this game just isn't fun, so scraps of characters have to save it. They only succeed in one campaign, unfortunately. Jake and Sherry get freed from this contraption by Chris, and Sherry is surprised that they took their weapons?
Ugh, of course, they took our weapons.
After their escape, we go through this crazy insane lab. At this point, Chris knows that Jake is Wesker's kid, and they have this scene where Jake is really angry, and it, as usual in this game, never gets resolved and goes nowhere. The final fight with Ustanak takes place in another retarded place, and I think they wanted to be clever by Jake killing his pursuer by dropping him in lava, kinda like when his dad was killed. I don't know what you were going for, but fine. Ustanak is not dead yet, and one final shot done by Jake and Sherry together is what finally kills him. See? The game is actually about how working together is the only way we can save the world. What a great theme. Jake settled down for $50 for his blood samples and we're done. They set up that Jake and Sherry are going to be together and shit, but well, nothing came of it. I wonder if they even remember half of the shit this game established. Before we can fucking finish talking about this trash, we have one more campaign. Man, this game is spoiling us. We go through a big ass submarine as non-Asian Ada Wong, only to find out that Jake exists and has the antibodies for the C-Virus. Ada is led by who she thinks is Simmons, but it later turns out to be the evil Ada. We meet Leon and Helena again and do this incredible boss fight again. What I found out here is if you lay down on either side of the cart, she can't hurt you, and you also don't need to worry about ducking the planks. Did anyone playtest this? Also, Ada can karate chop her, so that's something. After defeating Deborah, the fake Simmons leads us to the lab where Ada can see the birth of the clone. You know, it's kinda weird that for 2 chapters you have us running around finding information that we already know. Yes, Ada needs to find out about this, but you could have done it in a more natural way and not have us fight funny fat people that can't squeeze through holes. We get a twist. Ada sees the birth of evil Ada and she figures out that this Simmons is actually the evil Ada that wants to destroy the world. Now, this is where I would question who the hell Ada even is. Yes, she's a fan favorite and she's cool, but who the hell is this person? She just saw her exact replica crawl out of a cocoon, and that's okay, fine, and she just has no reaction to this information? Her response is calling the real Simmons. Wait, hold the fuck up. If you have the phone number or caller ID or something on this stupid device for the real Simmons, why were you talking to that one that turned out to be the evil Ada? She tells the real Simmons that evil Ada wants to destroy the world and stuff, and that's it for their conversation. It's never brought up again. I don't know if the devs had a really odd sense of humor, because we hear Chris saying that he needs the location of Ada Wong and him and his squad ran off and the real Ada is literally 5 seconds behind them. This timeline is fucked, and this is the perfect time to talk about it. I don't want to say that they didn't care, but calm the fuck on. We see the plane crash where in a few seconds Leon, Helena, Sherry and Jake will be fighting Ustanak. If you remember correctly, that takes quite some time to do, but in about a minute or so Ada walks onto a roof and sees Sherry and Jake near the boats. Granted, that's a section that happens right after the plane crash boss fight, but look how far away that is! We didn't walk that far in the Sherry and Jake campaign. I like that Ada is helping the children of her previous enemies. That's something for her character, but calm the fuck on. This is the shortest chapter of any campaign. Well, at least the recording is the shortest one I got. Usually, to complete a chapter it takes about 45 minutes to an hour. This one took 27 minutes. You could have had another fight with some enemies and try to at least adhere to the rules of time and space. Luckily, Ada finds a jet ski and she miraculously knows where to go. She gets on the ship, fights an army of goobers and finds the Ada clone dead because some random motherfucker shot her. She of course mutates into a crazy abomination and gets killed by the real Ada. I would like to praise an idea here. The boss fight with Carla is interesting. There are cryogenic tanks behind her and we have to shoot through her to shoot them and destroy her finally. It's incredibly easy, but it's an interesting idea. Ada hops into a helicopter and somehow finds Leon and Helena. But hey, we suddenly care about time and space, and Ada can't just go to the boss fight. She needs to get a shitty helicopter chase ending in yet another helicopter boss fight. I thought helicopters couldn't get worse after the infested one, but I was wrong. The T-Rex zombie boss fight is fucking awful from Ada's perspective. You literally stay in one place just holding the trigger until he dies, but be careful, the zombie T-Rex will sometimes jump at you. We go through yet another Simmons boss fight again, but from Ada's perspective, we defeat him, she finds some lab with another clone, destroys it, gets a job, and the end! Also, Jake is in the Middle East fighting zombies. Yes, we're done!
We're done. When I say we're done.
So, what the fuck is the actual plot of this game? The President of the United States wants to show the world what actually happened in Raccoon City. Simmons doesn't want that and infects him and the college campus he was on. At the same time, he was in love with Ada Wong and persuaded his wife Carla to become a clone of Ada Wong, I think. The game can't decide if she got persuaded or forced. Turning Carla into a clone of Ada Wong made her want to destroy the world with the new C-Virus? You know, it's great that none of this would have happened if Simmons didn't get a boner for Ada. The president would have still been killed, but no other attack would happen. Why does getting turned into a clone make you want to destroy the world? Also, Carla still has her own personality and memories as well as Ada's personality? Why is she so obsessed with being the actual Ada? Almost nothing in this game would happen if the villain wasn't a simp. How do you write like this? Why do you write like this? I truly wonder if anyone at Capcom remembers what the fuck happened in this game. I don't know where this franchise is going, but out of 2 new games and 3 remakes, only the remake of 2 and 4 were good. 7 and 8 are retarded cringe that hopefully won't transfer into 9. You've created characters that people love and give a fuck about. You can use them, you know that, right? I think this game could work. Just don't make every character miserable. Leon, who was and still is the best and most charismatic character in the franchise, is a miserable, unfun plank of wood. The same can be said for his partner in this game. As I said, Chris and Pierce are done well, Jake is incredibly edgy and Sherry is lame, Ada is an alien and not even a person. Fuck this game, don't play it, don't buy it, and anyone who tells you it's not as bad as you heard is lying to you. Thank you for watching and goodbye.